You remember that they're changing my voice. Now's a good time to remind people that I'm not racist and I've treated people fairly. Now, why I put things a certain way at times is key here. Okay, first of all, most people don't understand, right? Your ways are not God's ways, even though where you're wrong is pretty obvious. But if you really appreciated it, you wouldn't be cheat man around right till late. You wouldn't be doing the things you're doing, whether or not you know that I'm here or what have you. You wouldn't be embracing the Pope and all these public figures while shunning me. Like Lil Wayne said, he said these quote unquote hoes love, him like Satan. And that's the case here. Why they're making songs like this, people acting like Satanists are doing witchcraft. I've been shunned in the most populated state in one of the most populated countries in the world. In the most publicized country in the world. In the information age. The age of social media. So if you're Jewish, we're gonna go through a few groups of people here, and everyone else should be able to put it together from there. Right, if you're Jewish, just imagine every Jewish person that ever made it personal with you, put together, right, in a much worse version of them, and harassed you every day. Okay, now imagine you're another race, and they're doing things in a way that has racist implications, is racist, clearly racist at times. Sometimes they call me names, what have you, and they're using technology, and they're giggling, and they're mocking, and they're provoking. Okay, you can imagine that you'd be angry. Imagine if you're the son of God, the top martial artist ever, they're fuming you and poisoning you and crippling you, trying to use gang members and other people to try to intimidate you, trying to use the police to intimidate you, what have you. And of course I won't be intimidated. And word intimidate has the word date in it, which also has implications on reproduction and dating, right? So, word martial is marital scramble, and I, Christ, the top martial artist ever possible, and the bridegroom, the son of God. And I said that like that because someone just walked by, and I want to make sure that, I give people a chance here at every turn on the way out here. And even as I say that, there's something in my throat here that suggests that the end is soon here. But there's more to the end coming than the fumes and the poisons. The age is a part of it, how old I am, that is, and so on and so forth. Anyway, so if you're English, imagine all the arrogant English people you come across who just sweep things under the rug and kind of go on in a matter-of-fact manner, just sweeping the situation, something important to you under the rug, and imagine you're the son of God, and you can imagine you'd be angry. Now, I would have said this in a much slower rate, but I'm in a rush here for various reasons. So now, what was the other group? The LGBT community. Imagine the most crazed, satanic LGBT people who like ruining things, taking great pleasure in trying to ruin the most important event in human history for you. Okay? And they're coercing other LGBT people to help them and so on and so forth. Every once in a while, maybe one of them complains and gets beat up or something, and they're making it personal with you. You can imagine you'd be angry, right? And when you start getting angry, they change your voice, and they cause you to stumble on your words. They mess up your brain, so it's harder to express it. And imagine that you were a very, very serious person. Someone the gang members might describe as a straight killer. Someone people in the military might describe as an efficient, refined and sophisticated and methodical killer, and so on and so forth. I don't intend to kill the flesh of anybody. Okay. So imagine these things here. And if you still can't understand why I had to explain it the way I did, then you're lost. And don't let it confuse you, right? I'm being diplomatic right now, but after my flesh dies, people are cut off from God. And the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, countless people warn people. And when we see in the government, right, and so on and so forth, the Times also warn people. Imagine if you're the most romantic person that ever lived, and you're seeing how they change women, try to make them look childish, right? There's still some hint of them being attractive here and there, but their attraction is all but gone. There's only 66.6% of it remaining, and they've accepted the mark of the beast instead of coming together and insisting on truth and justice and rallying for what's right and so on and so forth. And all the agendas at play, all the things that are ruining things. So imagine if they went out of their way to ruin the last Christmas that you'll ever have for you. Okay, now again, I'm not big on the holidays, but it's the matter of principle. They kept me from being married. They ruined every Christmas in my life since I was like 12 years old or something like that, right? When they really started financially sabotaging my parents. Both my parents are doctors. They sabotaged them both to the extreme, like since they met each other onwards kind of thing. And that prevented me from having good Christmases after I was a kid. And I never had a single very good Valentine's Day in my life. They bent over backwards to ruin like everything. But keep in mind, in spite of this, right, God is so great, and it was very easy for God to make it so I have the greatest life ever, and I'll always be grateful to God. And even if God had mistreated me my whole life, I'll always be loyal to God. God did not mistreat me. No matter what, loyalty to God is key here. God is wiser than any martial art master you can imagine, and He is the master of life. And He's made me the master of life, but God will always be greater than me, His Son. So I want you all to really think about these things. What do they mean? Why does the Bible go on and on about God's vengeance on people? Before people say, well, why did He say that? Just the other day, someone tried to speak to me in code and said, hey, why did you yell outside your house all those times, right? Because, the neighbors have been very quiet about it. And if you can, you explain to them, because they were filming me in these various places, and every once in a while I had to make my videos outside, and they would provoke me during my videos and film me and poison me and remotely hack my brain, and it caused me to kind of start yelling. And sometimes, it would get very heated. I'd be off record, and I'd have to explain things a certain way that, people might not like to hear, and I'd yell it very loud, okay? Because they were causing a certain clash with me, and the nature of this clash, I want everyone who's white, Jew, and LGBT especially to listen very carefully. They were clashing with me on behalf of their races and groups, not to help them, but because they're greedy. These people massacre tens of thousands of whites, Jews, and LGBT people in America alone, mind you, not to mention the rest of the world. Every year, they massacre them. I haven't killed any of them. They in terms of killing their flesh, they kill them left and right all day, every day. So is it logical to team up with the people who provoke Jesus and say, well, Jesus is an anti-Semite, or he's racist against whites, or he doesn't like LGBT people, we don't think that's fair, when they're the ones massacring you, and I'm the one telling you the truth? They've killed your family, they killed your friends, your neighbors, the people in your cities, in your country, all over the world. They laugh when there's cigarette companies, okay? The drug overdoses, they say, who cares? I'm the one who fought tooth and nail with these people. So when they made it personal with me on behalf of their races and groups, and no one from the races and groups was obeying God through me, and I'm not saying this to kind of bash you, okay? Judgment is coming for everybody. But I'm not saying this right now to kind of kick you while you're down. They rape and they murder you, and they abuse your kids. These are very sick people here. And then they're trying to, as they're forging your groups in every race and every group that remains to be these satanic groups, on behalf of those groups and what they're trying to make them, they clash with me, while I'm representing God. I'm always representing God. And so I had to tell them. I had to say that your groups aren't so important. I had to tell them, hey, sometimes I got very angry and I called them names because I had to tell them. You can't just do that. There's the prophecy against Moab, prophecy against Edom, prophecy against this and that. Okay. You kept insisting on clashing with me on that level, like Goliath representing the Philistines. And I had to respond. It's in your own books. I had to respond accordingly. And if you look at my videos, you'll see videos I'm chastising black people. In case I didn't do it enough, if there's any mulatto people aren't obeying God through me, you're all doing the wrong thing too. You're no exception. Every race, every mixture, you name it. What I have done in the last 16 years is like the essence of fair and the essence of the response of the righteous man to an evil situation. And I've done it while progressing toward meeting my Maker. I've often asked even these people persecuting me, do you think it was harsh or do you think it was unfair? I've asked them so many times, hundreds and hundreds, it must have been hundreds of times. I've asked them so many times. I treated you people and your groups fairly. And you should know that very well.